Today we're going to plan a delicious and healthy Thanksgiving meal plan. So Thanksgiving is finally here and there's a lot of stress involved sometimes when you're trying to stay on a diet, you're trying to lose weight, and there's all these amazing options. So today we're going to talk about options that we can put together for an actual Thanksgiving meal that's going to not only impress your guests, but it's going to be completely healthy and diet friendly. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just list some various ideas for some meal plans, and I hope these will be really helpful to you. I don't have actual recipes because there's like 25 things on here, and I want to just give you some ideas so that if you're interested, you can research and make sure that these are things that you'd like to put together. So the first thing that we're going to work on is our protein that we're going to have for our Thanksgiving. So my recommendation, if you are a turkey lover, to roast a delicious turkey in the oven, to make either a turkey, or if you're not a turkey fan, maybe a chicken, but turkey is a traditional Thanksgiving meal, and turkey is also very healthy. It's a great lean meat, and it's a wonderful thing to serve on Thanksgiving. Now, another good idea, if you're not somebody who really wants to have a traditional turkey meal for Thanksgiving, is salmon. Fish is a great thing to serve for Thanksgiving. A lot of people really love salmon. They love different kinds of fish, and my choice would be for a balsamic glazed salmon. That just is an amazing dish. I'm actually going to list the ingredients to make a balsamic salmon if you're interested. And of course, any way that you make your turkey is going to be delicious. Now, if you're a vegetarian, there's all kinds of tofu dishes that you can make for your main protein. So I'll leave that up to you. But number one on my list is going to be turkey. So the next thing that we're going to focus on is our veggie sides. And these can be so good and so delicious and still be really healthy. So if you have never been a fan of Brussels sprouts because of the way they've been prepared in the past, maybe this year is the year to try some delicious roasted Brussels sprouts with walnuts and pomegranates. I love Brussels sprouts. I love Brussels sprouts. It doesn't matter how you fix them. I love them. But roasted is my number one choice. So all I do when I make Brussels sprouts is I put a little tiny bit of olive oil over it. I put a little bit of coarse salt, some pepper, any seasonings you like. And of course, if you want to roast it with some pomegranate, with some walnuts, it is going to be delicious. So number one on my list is Brussels sprouts. Of course, green beans. You can't have Thanksgiving and not have green beans, but it doesn't mean you have to soak them in cream of mushroom soup and, a bunch of things that are completely fattening. If you've never had roasted green beans, cooked green beans with lemon zest, there's a lot of ways to make green beans that are really delicious. And you can even fry them up in a little bit of coconut oil with some lemon zest, salt and pepper, some seasonings, and you're going to have a delicious, delicious side. On the line of green beans is asparagus. That's another popular and super healthy, delicious Thanksgiving side. So asparagus, my favorite way to make asparagus is just to cook it in a little bit of butter with some salt and pepper. Bam, you are done. And it is so good and it looks so beautiful on the Thanksgiving table. Of course, you can't forget a nice big green salad with all kinds of fresh raw veggies in it: mushrooms, celery, onions, tomatoes, cucumbers, cilantro. Whatever it is that you like, a big green salad is always a hit at Thanksgiving. Now, another delicious side is a cauliflower mash with garlic. If you're trying to avoid mashed potatoes, now it's hard. If you like mashed potatoes, I'm not going to beat you up on Thanksgiving Day, but I think cauliflower mashed potatoes with some garlic is just as good as mashed potatoes, in my opinion. I love cauliflower, but I'll leave that one up to you. And of course, we can't forget the sweet potatoes. Now, there's a lot of ways to make sweet potatoes. The most popular is to do the mash with the marshmallows all over the top. But have you ever tried like a honey lime roasted sweet potato or butternut squash? Those are delicious and they make a wonderful veggie side. And last, I'd like to recommend a sauteed kale or Swiss chard with almonds and delicious cranberries. Now I want to give you some healthier takes on some of the carb dishes that you might be serving at Thanksgiving. So if you're somebody that really loves stuffing, I wouldn't stuff the turkey. I would make this stuffing on the side. And one of the things you can do is stuff it with either wheat bread cubes or sourdough is even a better option. So I think those might be a really good option for a delicious stuffing mix. I think if you're somebody that really likes to serve cranberry with your turkey dinner, have you ever considered making your own cranberry sauce? Cooking your cranberry sauce, maybe put more orange in it and less sugar. It's still going to be really delicious. Another option for those mashed potatoes is instead of adding all of the cream and the butter and all that, have you ever tried mashed potatoes with Greek yogurt? If you haven't, it is really good and it's a great option if you're really desiring to have mashed potatoes on your dinner plate. Another good carb is roasted acorn squash with cinnamon. I think those are really beautiful, cut into rings and roasted and put together with some cinnamon. Acorn squash is just delicious. And of course, if you're not using your air fryer to make some of these things, that's another great option. And I'll tell you what, that might be another option for sweet potatoes. I love air fryer sweet potato fries. I make them all the time. In fact, when I see sweet potatoes in the store, I'll buy a bag, I'll bring them home, I'll skin them, I'll cut them up into fries, I'll freeze them, put them in a Ziploc bag, and then all I have to do is throw them in the air fryer and I have sweet potato fries for dinner. So no reason we can't serve those for Thanksgiving. Now let's talk dessert, because that's my favorite meal on any holiday. It's dessert. But I tell you what, I am staying away from a lot of the desserts that they have for, the homemade apple pie with the Dutch crust and all that pumpkin and all that. It's delicious and I could eat the whole thing myself. I don't even need to share it. But I'm really trying to stay on this weight loss plan. I've got a goal by this time next year. I want to be at a healthy weight. And I'm not too far from it at this point. So I am opting this year not to have any of those heavy desserts. Instead, I would opt for maybe making an apple crumble yourself. Just cutting up the apples, making a crumble with, maybe some artificial sweetener and some rolled oats and cinnamon, baking that up. That's a good option. Another good idea is instead of just having pumpkin pie, making a pumpkin yogurt cup. Those are delicious. Another great idea is to make some sugar-free Jell-O pudding. They also have 0 carb and 0 sugar Cool Whip now that you can buy. Mix those up for a delicious Jell-O salad. Throw in a bunch of strawberries and bananas and grapes, your favorite fruit. That's going to make a wonderful ambrosia salad. And those are just a few ideas for some of my Thanksgiving plans. And if you're concerned about the appetizers, people bring a lot of delicious, heavy calorie appetizers. Make sure to have a big veggie plate or a big fruit plate for everybody to help themselves with. If you're going to a party or you're hosting yourself, that's something you could always have on the table. Now, not everybody's going to gravitate to those because a lot of people are going to go for the more fattening dishes, but make sure they're available for yourself. Whether you're hosting or not, you can always take something to someone else's house. So make this a Thanksgiving that you can lose weight or even just stay the same. Sounds good to me this year. So I want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. I hope you're enjoying this time of putting menus together and ideas of things to take to people's houses. Maybe this will just give you another way to look at your Thanksgiving menu. So thanks for watching today. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel. Give me a like, a thumbs up, or ring that bell for future notifications, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.